What's up,
Or
everybody?
truck nuts.
We are back. Shout out Truck Nuts. If you don't get a pair on your truck by the time you stream it next, I am literally
I'm
going
not
to lose
putting
my
truck
shit.
nuts
Put
on.
nuts on
Also,
your
it's not
truck.
a truck.
You
It's
call
a
yourself.
van.
Put it on your van. Van nuts are even better, dude. That's 100%.
No, I'm not putting.
Do it.
I saw a video.
Vehicle nuts.
You put them
Vehicle
around the
nuts.
fucking.
Everyone,
You put them around the.
everyone in
the-
chat. Put yes in chat if you think Hell should put nuts on his vehicle.
I'm
yes
not
in chat.
putting nut. They
Do it,
wouldn't even
100%.
fit. It doesn't even have a fucking toe. It doesn't have a fucking.
Make it work,
oh.
okay? I hear a
You told
lot
me
of
you made fucking
excuses.
zap straps
Yeah,
out of
you're like, I
fucking
did this
whatever.
thing, I zap strap all.
Hang on,
We're hearing a lot of
I'm
excuses.
aware.
Some fake
I
nuts
could
on your
do it. I
vehicle.
don't
We're hearing
wanna
a
put
lot of
fake- I
excuses.
don't want to put truck nuts on my
Yeah,
vehicle.
a lot
I'm
of
not gonna put truck
excuses,
nuts.
not a
It's
lot of
not an
nuts.
excuse. I'm telling you, I'm not gonna do it.
Veiny van nuts.
What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Thank you for swinging by today. We're in a mood. We're in a good day. It's been fun. Welcome in from the top. We got Kieran coming in with that subby. We got 4 months in a row. Let's go. 16 total. That's crazy. Been at this a while. Thank you, everyone else swinging in. Merc, you're here already, dude. You're here already. Thank you. Boofa guy, Kayla, Rye, everybody. Goblets, Kelly. What's up, everybody? Hellspawn, how y'all doing? See, everyone's saying yes, dude. You should put nuts on your van.
I'm not putting nuts on my van.
Month where you move. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So
Will
I
you put-
interrupted your sub myself. That's my bad.
Will you put tits on your van?
No.
Van tits.
I'm
Let's
not
do it.
putting genitals on my vehicle.
Tits
Will
are
you put
genitals.
a pocket pussy over the exhaust pipe
Van tits, we call them Vits.
and turn it on? It's
Vits,
really funny.
yeah, there you go.
This has gone down.
It's gone.
The,
It's gone
yeah.
down. Yeah. It's, to be fair, I haven't started the recap yet, so like we're still in shenaniganery mode.
Big old pair of Honda Vitties.
Speaking of shenanigans, Hell's Corp, you got any new shit coming up? You want to tell the people about it? Any new streams, new plans? Let us know. Now's the chance.
I'm gonna be streaming more. Those all. Watch out. Ooh, I'm gonna fuck you. I'm gonna fuck you. I'm right behind you. Uh-oh. Look behind you.
He's gonna fuck you softly.
I don't know what's going on. We're unhinged now. That's okay. Everyone go show some love to Hell's Corp over on his channel. Maybe you can get him, catch him trying to change some truck parts. In terms of things on my end, we're going to be moving the Saturday streams from morning to probably around the noon slot and go for like 3.5 hours-ish, kind of shorter. Going to be doing some painting and world building, kind of swapping it out as we go. Because I'm looking to shift away from video games and back to more D&D content now that I'm settled into the new space. And I got the new campaign coming up, so I got a lot of work to do on that. However, Tuesdays and Thursdays are still going to be my gaming days. We're just going to try to pepper some other streams in there and other time slots and see how we do. Other than that, nothing really new to talk about. So, without further ado, let's recap. Let's pick up where we last left off. The party, now with a couple of new allies in tow in the form of Rares, the small halfling thief who picked you and Tuka clean the previous night of all your belongings, and one patriarch of the Druhilla family as well, leading the way, whose name I should know off the top of my head, but because I suck, I don't. And that's on me.
Gilsar?
It is. See? My players are taking notes and remembering things. It feels
I
good.
was-
I love you.
I was
Keep it
making
involved.
clips the other day.
Are you still pirating the clips?
Yes,
From
and I'm
our
gonna make a
YouTube?
cute thing at the end when everyone, and it's gonna make us all cry. I
already-
promise.
I already told you I'd
You're
give
gonna
you
get
the
sued.
I already told you. I'm gonna sue you.
I've been taking them straight off of Twitch. They're much higher quality now.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh my god. We're
You're
going
getting pirated by one of your own players.
I know I am. My own player is pirating my fucking content to make new
Arr,
content.
fiddle-dee-dee.
It's going back on my YouTube. So my content is being pirated to make more content. It's ingenious. And it feels good.
2020.
You're gonna get
23.
copyright strike against yourself.
I know. That was fun. Go ahead and exclamation point D100 in the chat, please. So, party with our two new allies in tow, Ilsar and Rares. Thank you, Ryan. Returned to the Narish Sanctuary, where they wasted no time in setting up their new halfling friend with a little bit of a, let's say, shop front to establish his new business, a bit of a an office for the Gambit, one of the most prolific thieves guilds on the entire continent. Seemingly a new ally. And Elsar Druhilla, an aging but still enthusiastic archaeologist, who wasted no time whatsoever in going to the large sandstone edifice. The door. Don't put the truck nuts on the street, you fucking son of a bitch. We gave him shit for it. This is on me. I asked for this. We asked for this.
You said, give me truck nuts. I'm giving you truck nuts.
Why are they red?
Yeah, that was
You know
my
what?
first question
They've been
too.
in the sun for
It's like-
It's because they've been hanging in the
Fuck, man.
sun,
Don't-
dude.
Don't fuck with him, man. He's doing his best.
It's
I
fine.
thought they were
love
supposed
it.
to be like chrome.
Okay.
He's doing his best.
Kelly knows what's up. Kelly knows the facts. Damn, dude. Okay.
No, there's a lock on that. I know what that's for.
I give up. I don't want to fucking be here. Okay. You guys open the stone door, putting a few, pretty gemstones where they needed to be, ending with the Star of the Kings in the final highest point on the door, which then began to descend into the sandstone floor, revealing a massive chamber complete with a tomb kind of centered in the middle on this, I want to say plateau, almost like pillar of stone, on which that seemed to be there was a coffin built for either one exceptionally large individual, possibly two. You ventured into the room a little further, spent some time investigating, and went over some of the details that you found within, revealing a series of shelves on some of the walls with a number of different articles of literature in varying states of either preservation or decay, depending on whether or not they were actually, preserved in any way. You made your way to the center of the room, this large plateau on which this tomb, this coffin, rests, revealing a large kind of ocean below, this massive pit in which there seems to be some kind of cavern where water has flown in, or made its way into the cave. You examined the coffin, revealing that there was in fact a trap placed on it, a pair of pressure plates at either end that you had hoped to stop from triggering when pushing the top off of this thing. And however, in Mr. Maker trusting it to his allies, perhaps not the most capable of individuals, the trap was triggered, sending all of you launching back about 10 feet. All of you, however, managing to save from the brunt of the damage and stopping yourselves from being plunged into the cavernous depths below. As you all
Can
regain
Mr. Maker also dispel a trap on that as well?
No.
Yes.
He did, but did not dispel
Yeah.
the other trap.
There was a tube.
Okay. At which point you stood and looked upon the two bodies that had been interred within this place. One of the Star Speaker herself, the last of the leaders of the Undara people, buried seemingly with her husband. A dwarf, large for his kind, but still dwarven in nature, seemingly protected and preserved, at least until the ocean air made contact with the contents inside, at which point they began to just quickly decay, and time caught up with what it had failed to do so far. However, in between them, grasped in their hands, was a very familiar shaped scepter that you had determined would be the thing you were looking for, the main reason you had opened the coffin in the first place. A means of activating whatever it is this room might be. And that's where we left off. So as the group of you all stand looking down into this coffin, to the individuals within, you see them just grasping the scepter in their hands. What are you doing?
Who has scepter? Is it still in there?
I believe no one grabbed it, and it is still just held in between that. Like, they're basically lying next to each other, holding hands, and in between, like in their hand, is this scepter. It's about
That
yay
was
big.
a
Gregory!
Yay big. Almost
Get it.
looks like a trident, but not quite.
I already grabbed it. I grabbed it.
You grabbed it? Okay. No.
I grabbed it. I'm
Okay.
just
I
doing
took
it.
her
and
slowly back
I
away.
feel it.
You don't hesitate at all. Just reach into the coffin, grabbing it. As you do, you kind of just yank it free of their hands, which come apart, no longer grasp. You hear like kind of a sickening crunch as they do, but you do manage to wrestle this from their grasp. And you kind of replace their hands respectfully back where they were.
And I look on the bottom of it, and do I see a pair of truck nuts?
You do not. You do not see a little dangly pair of truck nuts. Good try, though. Good try. You do.
I
You're
cast
just holding
Thunder
it.
Truck Nuts.
Even holding it, like you can. The handle itself, very well made. It's just very simple, golden, and where it kind of prongs out into this trident form, you're looking at it, and it kind of has like an interlay pattern of woven steel that looks almost like a galaxy, kind of turning amongst itself with little, very small jewels kind of speckled throughout. And
Can
it
I
does.
inspect it closer and see if I see anything interesting about it before we shove it in the wall?
Yeah, you can roll me either an investigation or an arcana check, your choice.
Guidance.
Stan, can you help me close the door?
That's a D4.
Oh yeah.
So 24.
Put them back to sleep, you know.
Of course, it's a 24. It is magical in the sense that it is enchanted to have a purpose. It is just an enchantment school on it. Doesn't give you a whole lot of details. It's not a particularly powerful enchantment, but it does. It almost strikes you as a key.
But there's nothing else interesting about it, because we
Nope.
kind of already deduced that there thing.
It's beautifully made. Like, this is a masterwork piece of dwarven crafting at its finest. And there's like, you can tell by the handle, the way and the way it kind of forks out. All of that is dwarven in nature, and then the kind of central part that looks more like the galaxy, it again is this kind of blending of dwarven and elven culture that has come together here.
I
Well,
will
he's-
go over the wall then. Oh, go
Well,
ahead.
he's-
Sorry.
While he's doing that, I'm gonna. Gregory's asked me to help him. I'm gonna go over and start pushing the coffin back closed.
And I just whisper while we're doing it.
Oh,
Thank you, Miss Ryastra.
okay. You guys pushed it and it exploded. You kind of walk
Oh,
around.
I
Remember
forgot that
the
detail.
trap went up. This is why
Oh,
we do. This is why we do
No,
the
I remember.
recaps.
I remember blowing back. I just don't remember.
Yeah,
the
I didn't know.
The
that. You
entire
didn't
as
explain
soon
it,
as soon as that lid came off, the whole thing went
No!
completely
I thought
and
you
knocked
just
you
said
guys
there was
back
like
in
a
every direction.
green energy that came off it. I
No,
didn't
this
know
was
the
like a
actual way it
wall, a
blew up.
legitimate wall of force.
Yeah.
The coffin itself has been cracked and shattered along the top. There's that much like from the top that's leading to the ground that's mostly untouched, protecting the bodies within. As you kind of walk around to where the top would have slid off, it is just shattered into pieces. The tomb has been desecrated.
I would like to walk over to the wall.
So the place where the slot was, or the indent in the wall, was right over here on the western side of the room, kind of in the center where all these lines and carvings in the sandstone kind of meet and form that exception. Yeah, no worries, Peter.
As I pass Charlotte, I'm gonna give him a little slap on the back of her head and say, "Do better."
I'm sorry. I'll do better next time. Don't worry. I figured it out. I see what I did wrong. It's okay.
This man's already halfway across the board.
Okay, you got this. Okay, yeah. He just goes
Gregory.
about his own business.
Gregory, I think we could maybe at some point work on fashioning a new cover for this tomb. I think that would be right.
Yeah,
We'll do that later. Greg, you see he's got 2 gems that are coming out of the box. He just shoves them back in.
yeah, later. First things first.
Looking at the door. Looking at Ray Esther. Just,
I'm sorry, madam.
Yeah.
You hear a response in
from
your head.
across
How
the-
dare you?
No!
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay,
Yeah,
first things first. The door.
You
From
gather
across
she
the
would
bridge, you
understand.
hear, "French."
You were feeling things. We hate that.
All right, yeah, I'll come up behind Mr. Maker with the scepter.
I want to put it in the wall as soon as I get over there.
Okay. As you kind of approach the wall, what are the rest of you doing as Mr. Maker's doing that? Are you following him suit? Are you off exploring your own thing? What are you guys... Just kind of paint a picture to where you are in this moment as you see Mr. Maker approaching, holding the scepter in his hands. What are you guys up to? Ow.
I'm
I'm
just
just- Yeah, I'm like back, just like 10 feet behind him to the right a little bit, maybe a little closer even. Just kind of watching over his shoulder.
right behind
Um,
Stan.
A little bit nervous as to something that might happen. I have my shield braced in front of me, taking kind of a braced stance, lest there be another boom.
Okay. Mr. Maker, you put it in the wall.
I shove it in the wall. No hesitation.
Fair enough. You walk forward, and like it is, like I said, the slot itself or the indent in the wall is about the exact size, so about 1.5 feet from top to bottom. You kind of, as you even begin to approach it, you feel almost a vibration in it, like almost a humming. Like you can feel the magic kind of gaining power as you bring it closer to this indent in the wall. Then you push it in
Like
slowly.
an angle grinder?
Hmm?
Like an angle grinder?
Much softer. It's just like a very, very
Okay.
soft hum.
Uh,
But like it almost feels like a tuning fork that's just been struck, like vibrating in your hand a little bit. You just walk up to the wall and you push it into the slot, and it slots in. For a second, you're worried to take your hands away because it seems like there's nothing holding it in place. And then as you do, it is held fast, and you watch as just from behind it, 2 little beads of light begin to and begin shooting across these kind of carvings into the wall. These constellations and different celestial patterns that have been formed, multiplying as they do exponentially until the entire room, from top to bottom, every wall and the ceiling above you is lit by these thin trails of light and these sparkling gemstones that are being reflected in the room. And as you look around, it's almost like one of those like Christmas decorations you see on people's houses where the stars are just spinning on it constantly, but it's much more realistic. It's these diamonds, emeralds, rubies, sapphires, all just glinting as the light passes through it. I want all of you to roll me an intelligence or wisdom check, your choice. What's up, Insomnia? How's it going, buddy? Oof. Oof.
That's crazy, dude. That's the thing I have a 20 in.
Well,
I have no clue what's going on.
The only really person who clocks this. Mantuka, you start to pick up on patterns kind of forming, but you don't quite get the full grasp of it. Gregor with an 18, which is just what you needed.
speak to me, lady.
Very quickly realize that this is not just a depiction of the cosmos.
Wow.
And as you watch these lines forming, some of them begin to appear thicker to you, and the longer you stare at it, you notice something begin to visualize, something you've seen, you've looked at many, many times. The map of the Magus Imperium that has so many times been passed in front of you at planning tables, at meetings, begins to kind of come into focus. Slight changes, slight variations. As you can tell, this was carved thousands of years ago, and the topography has changed since then. But the basics of it are all there. They're all the same. The Incendus mountain range still standing tall, dividing to the south of the Ember Steppe from the north. However, you see no depictions of Imperium cities. Only the ones you know to be Undarin in nature. You see the actual ruins of Adrock, now a city, and even as you're looking at it, you see this kind of pattern begin to form around the gem that represents it, almost giving a small visual top-down depiction of what the city would have looked like in that time.
Huh. Hey, wait 1 sec. This is an old map. This is wait. Yeah,
Actually, I start kind of rattling off some of the old cities. Just
that's in. And I think that's where we are. And wait. Well, okay. So this is like a. What does this mean?
Meanwhile, Mr. Maker with that check is just banging his head into the constellations.
Yeah, you kind of just like going over the wall, and as you're looking, and these patterns are starting to go. The walls, like the room begins to rumble as this power just begins to course through it, and all of these gems are connected, and everything begins to shake ever so slightly. You notice some small pebbles begin to fall from the roof, and then some larger, some bigger, and you notice starting from where the scepter was in the wall, cracks begin to form and follow some of these constellations. I hope you remembered that map, because before your very eyes, the entire wall crumbles and begins to fall in on itself. Need everyone to roll me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh dear
Mr.
God.
Maker, I'm gonna say with that nat 1, you are just completely enamored in what is happening, and you're gonna be at disadvantage on this.
Everybody gets a +4.
8.
Wow.
I assume I can see
It's
this, so I
already
have
got it.
advantage.
Yeah, you do, since you're a
Okay.
barbarian. The only one at disadvantage is Mr. Maker, who got an 8, and then we have a 17 and 19. And Gregory, what'd you get?
An 8 altogether.
Plus
Oh.
4.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
so
that's
that's
with the
like a
plus
12.
4.
That's 12. Oh, no. Okay.
Greg's
Wow.
just so enamored. He's
So,
like, oh,
as you all kind of like duck to cover and kind of cover your head, as some of these rocks are
Shield
beginning to
up.
tumble all around you, some of falling off into the cavern below, into the waters and the depths that wait beneath. Mr. Maker and Gregory are not so fortunate as to get out of the way in time, as both of you take about a rock about half the size of a soccer ball to the dome, and are both immediately knocked completely unconscious, or just hit the ground for a brief moment of blackness. You don't know if they're out for long, but like they just took a hit. They are on the ground. I'm gonna quickly roll some damage for that.
There's no shot I could use my reaction to take Gregory's hit for him.
Nope.
Okay.
No, not on this. You're busy trying to protect yourself on this one.
oh.
Okay. So you each take 15 points of bludgeoning damage, and you just see like a flash of white as this impact happens. You are immediately concussed and hit the ground for a brief moment. You're stunned, and you spend like your next 2 turns just recovering from this, and you're just on the ground, your head ringing, your eyes trying to focus. You just took a massive hit to the head.
You look over. Oh, that Mr. Maker. And as he's getting up, none of his face is the same. All of his eye color is changing. His eyebrows aren't staying the same shape, and it doesn't look like it's getting better.
Oh no, they did the randomizer on the character select screen.
Oh, that sucked.
Oh no.
That was no good at all. I fucking hated that.
Oh boy. I'm gonna, real quick, because I'm next to Gregory, I'm gonna touch him and drop however many, I know it's 15, but lay on hands to heal him right back up, and then go over to Mr. Maker and do the same.
Yeah, like they both come to almost immediately, but they both took
Yeah.
a massive hit. And Gregory, as you kind of like look up, you're still kind of blurry. Like if you've ever taken a really good hit to the head, you know, that like flash of white and that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you're dealing with right now. I've been there a few times. Thank you for the follow, Polar Knights. Appreciate it.
Very high pitched ringing. What's that? I hear a high pitched voice. Is that right, Astra?
Mr. Maker does not
Hey.
look like himself.
Nothing is right on my face.
It's all wrong.
What is happening, Mr. Maker?
I
Yeah,
can hear the angels.
yeah,
as you
I put 15 points of lay on hands in both
Okay.
of you.
you all get your health points back.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that one's gonna be rough for a couple days. Y'all gonna be shaking off that headache for a while. And you look as Mr. Maker's form just does not revert back to where it should be. Something is not entirely right after that. But
Oh no.
Ugh.
as you all look at the wall that has just now crumbled, you are amazed to see what lies beyond as you just look down into a depths of a stairway that leads down this kind of winding passage, and it goes kind of around the outsides of this until it kind of disappears from sight into what appears to be a cavern leading just deep into the darkness below.
And
You don't
do
hear
have
anything.
things?
Occasionally you hear the sound of some falling rubble making its way to the bottom of this essentially pit.
Mr.
like to
Maker now
walk up-
standing up.
Oh.
What?
Oh my god, Mantuka, you first.
I'd like to walk up to Stanny if I can. I assume we're relatively close. I followed him the whole way.
Mhm. You guys are all kind
gonna
of
look-
like stand up as all this is happening.
And I'm gonna look over to this newly formed, delightful entryway. Listen, Stan. If there's any magic shit down there, and you fucking give it away, I'm gonna beat you. Okay? Because we can sell it. We can do lots of stuff. You know what you can do with gold? Whatever the fuck you want. You know what you can't do with gold? Not a lot. So don't fucking throw it away. Don't get cursed. Don't get possessed. Like just be a man for one dungeon.
Oh my
All right,
god.
it's all right. I know why you're upset, and you definitely I messed that one up maybe a little bit, but I panicked, and yeah, you're right.
It's about this point as like the sound and commotion has settled that you hear the sound of rushing feet coming down the stairs where you guys entered the room. It was a pretty fucking big commotion you guys just caused, and you see a small force of the Hushroot tribe coming down, led by Linax, weapons at the ready, kind of disheveled armor, not yet like pieced back together from the last battle, some like chainmail shirts that are cut open and not completely covering parts they should be, and they're ready for a fight. And you see Ilsevere kind of walking in behind them, his staff at the ready too, and they're just taking in this grand room, and see the lot of you standing amongst all this rubble. And Linax just looks at you. Is everything all right then?
Yeah, it's great. All good.
Okay. And he just sheathes
Yeah,
his longsword.
two
Maybe
got hit in the
next
head
time,
really
if you're going to almost bring down the whole cavern on our heads, you could let us know. Just give us a little heads up.
To be fair, we did not know that something like that would happen.
Not at all.
Fair enough, but still, next time, perhaps we be more careful.
Mm-hmm.
You just
Yeah.
see him lean over and say something to his men, and they all kind of put their weapons away and like give you guys a little bit of a confused glance and make their way back upstairs. Linax and Ilsevere take the time to stay behind, and both of them kind of make their way over to you. Stanislav, your brother, just kind of walks up and like puts an arm on your shoulder. Still getting into trouble then?
Don't seem to be able to avoid it.
Maybe you should try.
We have been trying.
I don't think this time avoiding the trouble is the way to go.
Uh-huh.
He looks down into this cavernous pit. It's essentially like the wall crumbled, revealing a cave that is like, it starts off wide with the staircase going around it, and then it almost like an optical illusion gets smaller and smaller until it almost meets, and then the staircase disappears into a cavern. It is quite mind-bending.
Mm-hmm. By the way, my axe is still glowing from daylight. It lasts for an hour.
Yeah, jeez.
Mhm.
How long's the cooldown for inspo? I think
Yeah.
half an hour on that one. Mr. Maker, what's up?
Mr. Maker will now
You yell very triumphantly.
now down the hole, and he will be. He's walking back the roadway.
He's
He's
just
walking the opposite direction. Yeah,
No,
he's just
come
in
back,
the
I'm
opposite
gonna-
direction.
I'm gonna round and grab him by the
Okay,
shoulder.
what's the deal with him? Like,
Hey,
what's all
I'm not-
fucked up?
Mr. Maker, I'm
He
really
looks at you very confused.
I'm really sorry for this. I'm gonna punch him in the face.
roll an attack. Right, roll a melee attack.
He's not a tube TV. What are you doing?
22.
We don't know. He doesn't know anything about changeling anatomy. Does a 22 hit you, Mr. Maker? I believe it does.
Yeah.
Okay, so like you're trying to just like regain your focus after taking
Oh,
this
no.
Ah!
fucking softball-sized goddamn bolt, like rock to the head. And Stanislav comes over, is like, "I'm sorry about this," and just you see a large golden fist just rapidly getting closer as it approaches you. Roll your damage,
Does-
Stanny.
So, does an unarmed strike count as a melee weapon?
I would say no.
Okay, cool. You take 6 points of bludgeoning damage. It's just.
Are you saying if he takes radiant, the D8 radiant damage from your hit?
I'm
as
at-
well?
yeah. Hold on, let me read the wording of it. Melee weapon attack. It's not a.
Okay.
I mean, they are weapons, but
These fists be what? I want to make it count. I really do, but like I'm gonna say no.
I'm not trying to like hurt him
Either way.
badly.
Third level
Either way.
smite.
He took a boulder
Either way.
to the head, and you are punching him. Like he took cranial
Yeah,
trauma, and
I'm
you are
trying-
My face
causing
gets
more.
worse.
I'm
The
trying
face
to reset.
definitely gets worse.
Yeah, as
Oh,
the fist
As you
hits the
punch
face,
it,
you like.
then my eyes start changing more often.
My fucking tongue is kind of like rolling out of my mouth because it's just getting bigger sometimes.
Oh
And
shit!
it's not just like
That
human
was-
that you're seeing
Oh
here.
god!
It's like going between like fucking tieflings and everything else.
Do you need to maybe see a doctor, Mr. Maker?
What? No. No.
No, I'm fine.
Can you
Let's
maybe
go.
stop that
I walk
from
the other way.
happening? Stop from happening. It's making me very uncomfortable.
Oh, hey, that's my hair. Look at that.
That was Gregory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Linax is like, this is the most fucked up thing I've ever seen in my life.
Only ranked third for me.
I don't suppose you lot are gonna be going down there, are you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I do just back some walk.
Okay, hold
Well,
on,
then,
hold
well,
on,
then.
hold on.
Let me roll a d8.
Hold on.
Let me roll a d8.
Trying to catch him.
I'm so confused, so lost. The fucking
He's going the
AI.
wrong way. He's going fucking north.
Yeah, his Mr.
Alright,
Maker's
alright.
brain just has not reconnected after getting boulder to the dome. Severely concussed.
I can punch him too.
Maker,
Might need.
mister, sit down!
Linex kind of looks over at you. I'll be honest. I respect your gusto for adventure, but perhaps you should let your friend rest for a couple days before doing anything too crazy.
Yeah, I mean they both took pretty hard hits, and I did not do the right thing there.
Yeah, you look at
Left his mouth,
Gregory
his head in
like
shame.
there's just like a trickle of blood coming down the back of Gregory's head, like right behind the ear onto the neck a little bit.
When did it start raining?
Yeah, take a big hit,
Oh
dude.
boy.
Ooh,
Yeah, all right,
I
we'll
can
come-
hear
we'll come
thunder.
back. We'll come back. on.
We're out leaving. We surely is fine.
Oh,
Yeah,
I got this. Miss Linex goes over and like tosses an arm over Mr. Baker's shoulder, throws an arm over his, and walks. You're going to be okay, buddy. I owe you one. I'll take good care of you.
I'm
and-
gonna
The
bridle.
shovels.
Oh, that's making me very uncomfortable.
I'm gonna bridle carry Gregory.
I just like nuzzle into your shoulder. I look over at Mr. Maker and then I'm like, I just go, oh, they make such a handsome couple. Mm.
Mantuka, you're left standing there with Stanislav's brother Ilsevere, the purple-skinned, much skinnier tiefling. Never a dull day with you, Lotta.
Fuck, I hate my life sometimes. I'm just like, just drag my halberd behind me. Yeah.
Just through the sand as you're walking. He's like,
Just like I kicked boy or
just-
something, like I
I
kicked
was
puppy.
just
like,
trying to
oh.
cheer you up, big man. Don't stress it so much. Life is good. We're alive. For now. You keep
For now!
trying to collapse the roof on us. That might change pretty quick, but for now. He just smiles and slaps you on the back.
No closer to glorious death and battle for Mogus.
Male Hogus!
Just Elsevier both, like, and Mantuka both hit the face there. You guys make your way back up into the sanctuary, having newly discovered this tomb and this resting place. What would you all like to do? Mr. Maker, you were taken, like, immediately to a doctor. He's kind of this, like, he's in good shape. He's not particularly, like, well fed. You gather this was probably someone who lived in the camp that you had just liberated, so he's, like, getting some of the color back in his body. Like, he's seeming more well nourished as time goes on, but he's still quite a frail looking individual. You're kind of brought in, and he looks at you. Are you reaching at his face right now?
Yeah. I'm just kind of
please-
touching his nose.
No, please. Okay. Right over there, please. Right over there. And Linex kind of brings him over. What happened to him exactly? Got hit in the head. Rather hard, I'm afraid. I'm not sure what's going on with his face, but if you can fix it, please do so. And Linex just like leaves, and like he stands at the door and like watches as the
he turns
doctor's
around.
working. Oh my god.
As he turns around to look back when he walks to the door, you'll notice Mr. Maker's just like touching his nose, and the only part of his face that's kind of staying the same is the doctor's nose.
He just keeps touching it.
I don't like that. All right. Please
comfort nose.
lay down so while I inspect you. And he goes over and he like
Arr.
starts kind of like his medicine check. Yeah, he rolled a 2 plus a 6, so it's an 8. He starts just prodding you with like a stick, trying to figure out what's wrong with you.
It's like they brought the ET to
And
the hospital.
every time he hits you with a poke, that part of your body shifts into a different thing. He like pokes your face, it turns into a different person.
I do
he's-
little crab arms that pop out of my hands.
Stop that! Stop that in this instant.
Zoidberg?
He's just like stares at you. He does not know what to do. He rolled an 8. I'll be back. I have to consult with my books. And he just leaves you there by yourself. You see a couple
Mr. Maker
wounded
immediately
soldiers.
gets up.
Oh, god damn it.
Immediately gets up. Picks up a small rock on the ground and starts just caressing it. Go with it.
We're gonna cut there as Mr. Maker's just sitting there stroking a tiny rock in his head. Stanley, where are you taking Gregory? He seems to be coming to a little better. He's like coming to his senses and recovering a bit more now. He didn't seem to get rocked as bad as Mr. Maker did. He's still not doing great. What are you doing?
All right, buddy, come on. I'm taking him back to our place.
Okay. You return to your home, each with the specially decorated rooms made for you by Gregory himself. You notice him and his and Mr. Maker's room is yet undecorated yet again. But you kind of bring him to where you know his bed to be and lay him down. Gregory, your head is just pounding. You have
my dogs are
migraine.
Birkin.
You got hit on the head pretty hard there, but that's imagine that's no fun.
Is that what happened? Jeez, it kind of became a bit of a blur, that whole moment.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how much you remember, but you said something about it being an old map, and then the light got more intense, and then there were cracks, and then the entire dome basically exploded, and thankfully I had my shield. I was able to get it up over my head, but you got hit.
Yeah.
Right on the thinker. Big rock.
You know what? I think after a nap, I'll try to remember that map. Hopefully that's that. I feel like I forgot like basic math, but hopefully that map's still up there.
Yeah, you seem to recognize it. It was actually really interesting.
Right, there were cities like Portland and Tokyo. Kansas.
Gregory
falls
starts
asleep.
falling asleep in your arms.
Yeah,
and
all right,
he's
buddy.
just out for
Yeah,
the
I'm
rest of the
gonna-
day.
Saying nonsense
Gregory.
cities like Boston and Charlottetown.
Who would live in such a place? Ew.
I'll
Make
just
up, made up city.
Kind of cringe.
I'll
Who
lay him
names the
down
town
into
after
his bed
Charlotte?
and
Yeah, he's
and,
just out. He's having a little peaceful Gregory sleep.
let him sleep. And I am gonna go find someone who has some stoneworkers tools that I can borrow.
Ooh.
I'm
Okay.
gonna go to the market, quote unquote, that I remember where there's just
Yeah.
people that hung out. Kind of, wasn't it down by like a cove or something like that?
I was where you were training the men, like your little
Yeah.
training area. They were using what used to be an ancient marketplace as kind of the garrison district, more or less. It's basically just a large cave. However, Mantuka, are you participating? Are you tagging along with Stanny for this as well? At this point, it's just the two of you as the other two members of your party are kind of...
I'm going to my room and I'm moping.
Oh, big sad. Okay, so Stanny, as you're leaving Gregory's room, you see Mantuka just go into his room and slide the sandstone door closed.
Hey, wait, big guy, what's wrong? Okay.
Damn.
It
Okay.
looks kind of sad.
It's just you. You're all by yourself, dude. Okay. You make your way up, and you find a familiar sight. Your little garrison, the troops that you and Mantuka collectively together, though unconventionally, had been trying to train as a unit. Gregory even adding a little bit of an inspirational speech to the mix. But you do arrive there to find a bit of a different sight. This time you find your unit still there training. Everyone seems to be camped up as usual. But this building over here, which again, I say building at this point, it's mostly just the foundation. All the rest of what has been built here has crumbled over time. So it's more of just a hard floor that people can put a bedroll on or whatever. But you do notice there's a table set up in there with like a few random assortment of goods. It looks like a very haphazardly thrown together collection of stuff. And you see a small kind of or smallish gnomish individual with kind of like like a bright crop of red hair just kind of sticking out at odd angles. It looks like it's not very well kempt. But it's also like it's rigid. Like it looks like he's been in the ocean for a very long time, or just very dirty, and his hair is just sticking out in a bunch of little odd angles. And it seems that this individual has a very small thing of goods that he has brought ashore. And you notice some of the soldiers are like leaving the space. Some of them are like passing out like small wine skins that they've just purchased from this individual. And looking at his attire, it's very clear he's more than likely a pirate. But I want you to roll me. Again, there's not a stat for memory, so intelligence or wisdom, your choice.
Okay. Yeah, as I'm approaching, I'm just kind of saying hi to all the troops again, getting reacquainted and stuff, and 20 total.
Okay. The face that you immediately recognize it. You haven't seen it in many weeks, maybe half a year. Even before we were actually streaming the campaign, believe it. 1 second. You find his character sheet. So
Blast from the blast.
This individual was present the day that the namesake of one of your mounts died. When your party member first died. Mike's character. He was the little pirate that was trading with the bandits that you guys were fighting with. You immediately recognize him. He has this crop of bright orangish red hair, and like you see his hat that he was wearing during that meeting sitting like on the table next to him. He has a smile on his face. He has a very cheerful demeanor. And you recall from that fight that he did not actively fight against you, but fled into the desert as soon as shit started hitting the fan. And it didn't actively participate in killing your party member, but he was definitely there. Definitely seemed to be doing business with the bandits. So you, based on that, you can gather he's probably a pretty shady individual who kind of just sells his wares to whoever will take it.
And honestly, at this point, while Stanislav in the past may have cared a bit more about something like that, he realizes that was a very long time ago and recognizes that he didn't really have a plan in that. So there's kind of that like flash of emotions really quickly. He never got his name, but...
No, you never even spoke to him.
Hello. It's,
He looks up and sees you, and there's like a brief moment where he's taking in your features, and then you see a look of recognition on his face. Like, you don't forget a shiny golden tiefling man like that very easily. Hi there. What can I do for you, my shiny golden friend? He smiles. He's very much trying to put like a brave face on.
But he's shitting his pants. I don't need to roll insight for that.
100%.
Yeah, I can smell it from here.
100%.
Yeah. Stanislav's gonna just kind of stop for a second. He gets down on one knee to kind of come down to his level. Now look, I'm gonna get this over with right away. What happened, that incident, was a very long time ago. And
Yeah, it was.
You were dealing with shady people. Lots of people deal with shady people.
Kind of what we do, isn't it?
I mean, I brought back part of the Thieves' Gambit. Now we're allied with them, apparently.
What do you think I'm doing here?
The cogs turn a little bit.
Yeah, you piece that together pretty quick. He's like, "Are you gonna buy anything, or are you just trying to make some awkward small talk?"
Well, no, actually, and Stanny looks at the table. I need to do some early, not super large scale, but I need to do a big stoneworking project.
You're looking for some mason's tools, then?
Something like that, a hammer, chisel, maybe a file.
Right. Give him, and he begins like rummaging through all the different kits that he has. Like he doesn't have any like set, like, oh, here's masonry tools. It takes him about 5 minutes, but by the end of it, like, he gets you a fairly decently made looking chisel, maybe a little small but functional, a blacksmith's hammer, and then a couple files that looks like they've probably seen better days.
But they'll function.
Yeah, that'll be 5 gold pieces for all of it.
No problem. And he pulls out his only 5 gold pieces.
Oh,
Oh, that works. A little lighter purse there, are you?
Haven't had an opportunity to make money. Been quite busy.
I'll tell you what. Since I'm the, he looks around, seemingly the only shopkeep in town, and there's not a lot of competition, you bring me anything interesting you find, I'll give you a good price for it. Looks like I'm going to be here for a little while.
All right. I'll spread the word as well. I don't
Please
see
do.
many other people.
I'll be honest with you, I don't see people leaving much.
There's a good reason for that.
I can imagine. Be safe and, don't wander into any more fights you might not be able to handle.
Got a good point. I'm Stanislav, by the way.
Nice to meet you. Where did my sheet go? He looks into his notes. Name's Captain Stroff. Pleasure to meet you.
Captain. Pleasure is mine.
Former captain, I guess. Hard to be a captain when you don't have a ship. Say I have a ship might not be false, or might not be true. More accurately, I have a ship, it's just at the moment at the bottom of the ocean.
I can see how that would be a problem.
A bit of an issue. We're working on it, though. Good luck.
Thanks again.
Cheers. And he goes
Okay.
back and immediately just starts bringing in other customers. Like, he's working the crowd at this point. Like, selling random trinkets, wineskins, whatever he can. Tobacco, pipes, the whole 9 yards. You managed to get yourself a decent set of Mason's tools. What are you doing with them?
So I'm gonna go.
At this point, Gregory and
Yeah.
Mantuka, like, Gregory, your senses are beginning to come to. You don't have to have, like, a whole long rest here, but, like, the headache is still there, but if you're wanting to do anything, you're feeling up to wandering around and doing some stuff. Mantuka, too, obviously.
Gregory's mostly just gonna. He gets up like kind of at a weird hour. He's like, I don't even know what time it is. Oh yeah. Goes up to the front door of him and Mr. Maker's room, and takes out of his the toy box the 4 wanted posters that he got, and he puts them up against the wall, and 2 little gemstones come out and make 2 little eyes, and they just blink, and in that blink, all the corners of the posters are taken up by the dirt, so they stay up on the front door. There we go. The beginning of the theme.
Mr.
Is
Maker,
it?
you have advantage from Kayla.
Did you just use mold earth to hang posters?
Oh yeah, baby.
Fucking amazing. That's one of the best, cleverest use of the best spell ever.
You
Oh,
begin
thank you,
decorating.
honey.
Here's in Mr. Maker's room. You notice since he set up his workshop, he's spending less and less time in here, basically coming in just to sleep. But you're sure that he will appreciate the effort, nonetheless, whenever he recovers from his massive head trauma.
Yeah, yeah. I just kind of like finish that up and dust it out. There we go. I'll kind of get more stuff later. Darkness now.
Okay,
Closes
you
the door.
yeah, you lay back down and return to your slumber. Mantuka, you doing anything during this time? Or you just moping the whole time?
where is Smelly?
Smelly? Last you saw him was during the exploding of the coffin, and then him and Svartle kind of made their way out of the basement in case any other traps went off. So he was safely chilling. Last time you saw him, probably heading towards the mess hall.
I'm gonna go look for Smelly.
Okay. Yeah, you find him. Doesn't take long. You kind of walk into the mess. It's not crowded yet, but there's a good chunk of people in there. I need to turn off chat. Oop, there we go. You find him sitting with a few of his friends. Looks like they're kind of just like playing a very simple dice game, like higher or lower, and they're just rolling against each other to pass the time a little bit. He looks up and sees you and makes eye contact, and immediate fear in his eyes. Hey, boss. What can I do for you?
Battle axe.
Battle axe! And he leaves. You're holding your hands out. He runs past you, and about 2 minutes later comes back, just completely out of breath, with your battle axe in his hands, and just hands it to you.
And I'm leading him to the training area.
Oh, I catch my breath for, and you're kind of just like shoving him along. At that point,
Relax.
you would cross paths with Stanny as he's making his way back from this new small, unnamed, unofficially open shop with just like a hammer and chisel kind of loosely in his hands. Standing, you see Mantuka kind of ushering fucking Smelly along. What are you doing with Smelly? Oh boy.
Albert!
Albert! And he runs again. Comes back 2 minutes later.
Oh god. Grab both of them!
And he comes back again, now holding both halberds in his hands. You left them in your room.
I didn't leave them anywhere. This is your one fucking job.
I'm sorry, I left them in your room. I'm sorry. I got them.
Okay, well, might as well go get all my other shit.
Okay. He puts the halberds down and just takes off again.
Shit choice to shit
This
results.
time, when he
What's
comes
running
back,
up?
he's got like all of the javelins in his hand, all your like side weapons, a few daggers he picked up along the way. And he, like, by the time it gets to, he's pouring sweat. Like, he just ran up and down those stairs like 4 or 5 times. And he's like, okay, Matt, here you go. And he drops them all in. Holy shit. He's very much struggling to breathe right now.
Breathe.
I'm
Grab
breathing.
the halberds.
I don't want to grab that. He picks up one of the halberds. Okay.
Mantuka's gonna grab the other one, and Mantuka is not gonna be an absolute cunt. I don't know if I could say cunt, but I just did.
Say it all you want.
And he's actually gonna be
Cunt.
helpful and work with Smelly a bit on his technique, like the different ways you can manipulate halberds and thrusts,
Okay.
and like using the butt, and work on a little bit of his actual skills.
Okay. In that case, we need to like come up with a training check. Like, how do you train people? First, I'm gonna say roll me just a straight attack roll to try and show him good form, and then roll me either wisdom or intelligence. I want to say persuasion or intimidation to try to get the point across.
Okay, so I'll do a straight up attack roll.
Yeah, this is just to show him like
Yeah.
this is beautiful
I'm,
with a
I'm
28.
good.
It's perfect. You could not barely could have been better as you demonstrate like a series of expertly done strikes that are just perfect down to a mark, and he's sitting there taking in the information. Now you can either roll me a persuasion or intimidation. If you use intimidation, you can use your strength if you're being physically imposing to try to make sure that lesson sinks in. It's not really
they're
a
both
teaching stat.
fucking persuasion.
Persuasion
or-
or intimidation. If you use intimidation, you can use your
They're
strength
both
stat
Fucking
because you're giving
zero.
him a physical demonstration.
Okay, well then I will go strength and physically do it because that gives me a +4.
Oh, yeah,
and
totally
everything
fair.
else is 0.
Same way I rationalize.
I don't know
it,
why
but
it's doing 2 of them. I'm sorry.
We're going
It
with
does
the
what
first.
it wants.
It's a 22.
I'm a strength.
It's totally fine. Absolutely doable. So as you're giving him the examples and showing him what to do and giving this expert demonstration on training techniques and how to operate and use a halberd safely and effectively, you notice him start to drift at a couple points, like his attention span just isn't there, and you snap him back too, with like a little threat and some physical imposition on
Not
him.
today, Smelly!
And you get him to focus up, and over the course of the next 30 minutes, he's actually able, granted, he's struggling with a full-sized halberd right now. Like, it is a Mantuka-sized halberd, which
We're
is
gonna develop
big.
those muscles. We're gonna
Yeah, so,
develop
like,
those
he's-
stability.
It's kind of like, you ever play Dark Souls when you use a weapon that's just way too heavy for you, and you, like, swing it, and it comes back around and gets stuck in the dirt again? You gotta keep kind of,
Yeah,
like, half-assed doing the
Anything
swings.
exceedingly Asian. I get you.
Yeah, there you go. And he's just going with that. And he's getting the moves right, but he's struggling with the sheer weight of this weapon. But you gather you've managed to make the lesson sink in for the most part.
We're gonna go from smelly to swolly.
Yeah, and like you can see by the end of it, like their veins are bulging in his arms, there's a bulging vein in his forehead just from the strain. He's pouring sweat into the sand at this point. There's like a wet patch under him that for once is not piss. For like the first time since he joined you on your adventures. It's very impressive. You
Good
think
job.
Smelly's
Give
getting
him like a pat in the back and give him a good game. Like a hard good game. Like,
okay.
oh, like.
Okay, yeah, can I go get a drink now? Please?
My shit's not gonna pick itself up.
Oh, I got it, okay. And this time he carries it all with him in his arms, like the 2 halberds, the glaive, all the other weapons you carry with you, and he brings it right to the mess with him and just drops it on the table and gets his drink and food.
Fucking
carries,
savage, and I'm the fucking Minotaur.
carries them back outside and just stands them up on the wall outside the mess, where other people are leaving their weapons as well.
We had a good moment, don't fuck it up.
Stanislav, what are you doing while all this is happening? What are you using those mason tools for, buddy?
Oh, good God, I'm dying.
Well done, Peter. Well done, buddy. You know what? I'm gonna give you a D8 inspiration for that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a DM inspiration for sure.
But I just want to let you know the whole time you were doing that, Eye of the Tiger was playing in my head. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the tunnel, and I'm gonna find close to the bottom, or as close to the bottom as I can, the largest rock that I possibly can. I might have to do this in 2 sections. I'm gonna use my axe as a measuring tool because I don't have anything longer. I'm gonna go in and how many axe lengths long is the tomb? Ish.
The tomb of the Starseer, or the Star Speaker. At its from top to bottom, it is probably a good 14, 15 feet.
Okay, and I'm guessing my axe as a battle axe would be like 2.5 feet long.
I would say let's go 3.5 battle axes long in terms of measurement.
Okay, so yeah, I'm
12,
gonna find. I'm gonna see if I can find a boulder that big, which is highly doubtful.
Roll me an investigation or perception check, your choice. It's a difference between are you you can carve a boulder or carve a slab of stone if you want to, but yeah, it's gonna be a challenge.
Yeah, what I want to do is either carve one out of one giant rock or 2 halves out of smaller rocks.
Okay.
Which actually I think will be more manageable, so I'm going to do that. Find 2 large boulders.
Yeah, it's from top to bottom is 14 feet, and then width-wise it's wide enough for 2 people, one of whom was a dwarf, so you're looking at 14 feet by 5 feet wide, give or take.
7.
You don't find a lot. Unfortunately, during the cave-in of the western wall of this tomb, only the western wall was damaged. You notice none of the cracks or breaking went through to any of the other walls in this place, and they are still partially glowing ever so slightly. However,
interesting.
As you're kind of looking amongst the rubble, you do not find anything even remotely close to big enough. And if you're it's looking like you're basically going to have to carve a piece of sandstone from the wall of this cavern if that's what you're looking to accomplish. There's enough rocks there you could maybe turn into some kind of funeral mound or some shit, but to just carve an entire piece, you're looking at literally carving stone from the sandstone itself as if it were a quarry. There's not really any boulders nearby that match that size.
Well, that being said, I do have experience.
You sure do.
Yeah.
You, as you're sitting there remembering back to your memory of the time in the stone quarry there for that month or so that you guys were in captivity, just hauling stone from the depths of those mines out into the bright sunlight where Mantuka would then carry them further.
And Stanislav thinks about that and is kind of dejected for a sec, but then he stops and thinks and realizes that may have been a bit of a blessing, maybe preparing him for something like this, or giving him a skill that he didn't know he needed. So
possibly
Stanislav is gonna go and set about carving out a massive slab out of the wall.
Okay.
Gonna take a while. He's well
Long
aware.
time. Okay, so you just start and you managed again. You find pickaxes, chisels, whatever you needed. Not hard.
Okay.
It's gonna take hours of work to get a piece that big, especially out safely in one piece. So, for starters, I'm gonna say you can do athletics for it because I know you're good at it, and it is a feat of strength to just be sitting here trying to carve stone out of the wall. And on top of that, after you roll that, I'm gonna need you to roll me a dexterity check to see if you can do it without breaking the stone. Or the slab itself. That's the fairest way to do this going forward.
And even if it comes off and it does break in 2 or 3 pieces, and he's going to try and save it. So athletics.
Mm-hmm. 27. Easily done.
29.
Completely unnecessary. You're carving a piece of stone. The DC was literally like a 10.
and then a dex save.
Yeah,
Did you just make a vestige?
Just a dexterity check, not a save.
Okay.
13. Takes you a couple tries, and about your first go, you're beginning to kind of chisel in the stone and carve out pieces that you think will be good, and then you crack your first one. You kind of have to start again, and you're going to be working well into the night if you want to continue on this project. You are beginning to knock at the surface of what you need to do, but you gather you're single-handedly carving a 14 by 5 slab of sandstone that's probably going to be anywhere from 3 to 5 inches thick is not an easy thing to do alone.
Yep.
Or in a short period of time.
Yeah. And Stanislav kind of realizes this now after breaking his first one and maybe being a bit overzealous with it. Definitely still wants to do it, but is going to set the project aside for now and not exhaust himself.
Okay,
Go get some shut-eye and
get some
reconsider
rest.
in the morning.
Okay, Hero JCB Rose deemed to fucking hydrate. Everybody hydrate if you haven't already.
Stanny will pick up one of the gems that fell from the ceiling, though, and just kind of slip it in his pocket.
Yeah, the ceiling's fine. It was just the west wall, but you do find a series of gems that kind of collapsed. It was literally just the one wall kind of caved inward on you. But you do find, like, sapphires, rubies. Like, you basically get your handfuls. So let's just say... roll me a perception check just to see how many you can, like, pick up and just find sifting through the rebel and shit. Or investigation. Doesn't matter to me.
Nat 20.
Okay. You find about 400 gold pieces worth of gems. Various of whatever, like, you want. Say 150 of those are diamonds, the rest are just assorted.
So 150 diamonds, 250 assorted gemmerage.
Whatever you want. Ruby, emerald, does not matter to me.
Gemmerage is my new favorite word.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Gemmerage Coolidge.
I'm Gemmerage Coolidge. You make your way after, collecting a decent handful of gems, make your way back to your chambers to get a night's rest and tuck in for the night. Mantuka, are you also doing the same after your training is all done as the evening comes to a close? What's the plan?
I think Mantuka had a good time. I think he's gonna lay low. He's gonna let Smelly kind of like roost around the camp a little bit, like soaking that machismo.
Yeah.
I don't want to harshen his day, his evening.
Yeah. Roll me for fun. Roll me a perception or insight. Your choice. Either one.
That was amazing. That sounded like an after football interview. Well, Mantuka had fun tonight.
We had a good time tonight. We did our best. We left it all out there on the field. 16, okay.
Forgot my mom.
So this is more looking around, is less about how he's feeling and how other people are perceiving him. There is, despite him having been like this kind of smelly, unkempt individual who wasn't getting a lot of respect from his peers, you definitely pick up on the sense that has changed a little. Like, he's still that kind of awkward, smelly dude, but he's also now basically the squire of one of the heroes of the rebellion. And in that, in and of itself...
Street cred!
Yeah, he gets a little street cred for that. Yeah, basically. Like, they're looking at him with a little more respect. Like, he's a little more capable. Maybe more capable than he actually is.
I'm gonna get him pussy someday.
Oh,
not today.
Does he still...
Someday.
Does he still smell like a skunk took a shit on another skunk?
No, it's improved. It's just one skunk this time. And you gather,
okay,
like, Rares has been helping with that at certain points during the day. Rares will just show up with a bucket of soapy water and just toss it on him and just run. Like, that's what he does. That's how he's been... You told him to help Smelly with showering, and that's how he's been doing it. And you gather that's basically how he's passing his time here until shit gets more exciting.
I'm already awake.
You all
That's
kind
the
of
smell.
begin to tuck in for an evening's rest. Mr. Maker, before we tuck in for the evening's rest, what are you getting up to over there? What's going on with you?
Currently
Scratching at the walls completely.
unsure of where the door is.
Trying to leave.
Okay.
Fucking cringe.
I
Oh my
don't-
god.
I don't know what I have you roll for that. Roll me an investigation check at disadvantage, please.
And do.
Where the fuck am I thinking?
I hate this so much. I hate it.
I feel like I'm in a horror movie.
I do too.
He's gonna
I do
come
too.
out of my
I fucking
screen
despise
and
everything about-
rip my face off and put it on himself.
Okay, 13. Takes you a while, but I'd say after about the 20-minute mark, you just start on one side of the room. And what's funny is you start next to the door and basically go all the way around the outside of the room before returning to the door and finding your way back out into the hall. And you find yourself, if we look at the Narish Sanctuary here, Jesus Christ, this is fucking ridiculous. You come out basically on this kind of second tier. Actually, no, you would have been up here. This is the doctor's office. My bad. You come out right on this first tier, just on top of the cliff, kind of looking down into the sanctuary, seeing where like the cave towards your house would be. As you kind of step out into the ocean air that's like confined to this cavern, so it's quite humid and kind of unpleasant. What are you doing?
He's just gonna walk forward.
And just walk forward.
He's not gonna stop walking forward.
Okay. Roll me a dexterity
Uh,
saving throw.
He's gonna be looking around the entire time.
You
saying,
also have
like,
advantage from Kayla if you'd like
Where
to use
everybody
that.
go? No.
Yeah, there's no light coming in from the small vent upstairs. Oh, okay. So you're walking, you're like, where did everybody... And you just, at a certain point, you don't feel ground under your feet anymore, and you fall about 20, 25 feet. So... it's only a d6 per 10 feet. It's not the end of the world. Or is it d10? Am I
I
forgetting?
think it's
the fall?
D6.
I think it's-
I thought it was a d6 per 5 feet.
D6 per 5, Peter, or D6
Hold
per 10? I believe it's 10, if I'm not mistaken. 10, got it.
And-
So you take 5 points of bludgeoning damage as you just walk, and you feel nothing, and then you kind of just tilt forward, and you land pancaked flat right onto the kind of rocky gravel inside. You
Am
hit
I-
your head, and you feel that flash again as you just have your
Am I
double
in front of anyone's door?
in front of anyone's door. No, but you're kind of next to somebody's
it's
house.
like-
You're basically
That's what I'm
laying.
saying.
You're laying face down
Where am
right
I?
here, right there.
I'm gonna walk up to the door and knock on it.
Okay.
Oh, the house.
You knock on the sandstone door. Kind of have to give it a little extra
Ow.
there. Yeah, no, it doesn't really work like that.
Break your hands.
Kind of just gotta give it like a big hit. And after a while, like you hear shuffling from within. Like the windows there are windows here to provide ventilation. They are open. You see light. You hear the shuffling of feet, and the door slides open, and you see a familiar metal-armed individual waiting for you at the door. Yes, do you mind?
No.
Would you like to buy? And he pulls out of his pocket. This is for to make snow good. It's holding a leaf.
And this will help.
He reaches out and grabs the leaf from you.
Is 6 gold.
He reaches forward and hands the leaf back to you.
Well, if you pleasure doing business, and he's gonna walk off.
No. And as you kind of walk off, you feel like the firm grip of a metal hand on the back of your collar, just dragging you. I'm not even gonna have this isn't even a contested roll. He just fucking grabs you and just pulls. Your feet are basically dragging in the sand and gravel. As he brings you back up to the doctor's office and like takes you to a bed and like he's about to leave and looks. This is for your own good, I'm afraid. And he pulls out a manacle and manacles you to one of the legs of the bed to stop you from wandering.
I can't believe that would did it before.
Yeah, no, and he like checks your pockets, takes any thieves' tools out that you might be able to use to pick yourself, takes your weapons off of you. I'm just going to hold on to these, my friend, until you're in a bit of a better place. I'm a little worried for your
3
well-being.
gold.
Sure, why not? To give you something to play with. And he puts 3 gold pieces like right on top of the the leg in the bed where he basically manacled you to. Now be safe. Don't do anything stupid. He looks around for the doctor. Doesn't see him. I'm gonna go find the doctor. He's not. You can tell like he's pretty pissed at this point. As he's leaving, you hear the door slam and then you hear, "Someone find me the goddamn doctor!" And you just hear him like yelling through the sanctuary in the middle of the night.
I want to speak to a manager.
However,
Winter Soldier Karen.
as you guys, Mr. Maker, as you begin to hear that, you hear something else kind of pick up among the sound, among the din. You hear Linak's voice go from kind of a stern annoyance into a bit more of a panicked, commanding sound as you hear yelling coming back down the path towards you. "Everybody up right now! Weapons at the ready! We're not alone!" And that is what you all wake up hearing. As you all are just dragged from your evening's rest, you hear yelling and the din of people gathering their weapons and their gear. And then the sound that strikes you the most is the sound of heavily armored marching feet echoing through the caverns around you. And that is where we will be taking the break for today.
Smelly, it's go time, you fucker!
No.
Yay!
I told y'all, motherfuckers, we should have sent a dog or something.
They're coming.
Done anything.
The government came. They're coming. They found us.
What up, Mad K? Welcome in. What's
Hide
up,
your
crazy?
kids.
Hope
Hide
y'all
the
are doing good.
stills.
Hide the stuff. So we're gonna take our quick little 10-minute break here because we're going about an hour and a half, or just about. I gotta pee. I want to refill the drink, and we're gonna get into whatever is happening next. Hopefully, Mr. Maker manages to regain some of his senses, because shit might be about to go down. We'll see y'all in a little bit. I worked out. I've been lurking. I saw you up in here. I appreciate it. Thank you all for coming and hanging out and being part of the game so far. It's been a really fun day. We will be back in 10. Don't go anywhere. Love ya. We're back. What's up, everybody? We're just waiting on
Hi.
Chris to return. Hello. I should probably turn on some more intense music in this particular event.
It's not intense. What do you mean? What do you mean, Jennifer Lawrence? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So, going to be a lot of moving pieces. So this is going to be mostly a theater of the mind experiment. But like I said, you all awaken as the sounds of like the early sounds of battle, people getting their weapons together, sound of armor clanging as it's being put on, or someone dropping it because they're nervous. People are just beginning to assemble and get whatever they can ready for a fight. You all wake up to this happening. What are you all doing in this moment? Mr. Maker, you are currently handcuffed in the doctor's office to this bed, and now you're hearing this going on outside. While all that is going on, like you heard Linax leave, and then immediately heard him rush back by the door yelling, not like panicked in the sense he was like scared, but like ready, at attention, get everyone to arms right now. Like there was an urgency to his voice. What is everybody doing?
Maytuka's immediately gonna go out because he doesn't have armor. He's fucking ready to rock with his cock and all that good stuff.
Of course.
So he's gonna go out and start try to figure out scope of the situation and try to muster like people out and stuff like that, and try to prepare for whatever's coming and help out with spread the word.
Okay. So you make your way out. What about everybody else? What are you doing? This is all happening same time. You're all sleeping in the same room. So I'm imagining you're all coming out about the same time.
Smelly, fuck up.
Smelly already, like, you're surprised to see Smelly is waiting in your, what I'll call the living room. There, you don't have any furniture yet, but like the communal space is standing there ready with a serious look on his face, more serious than you've ever seen him look, and he has one of your halberds out and ready to go for you, and he has a small collection of your other weapons in his arm, just ready to go.
Smelly!
Let's go, boy.
And
Come
you
on.
notice this, the stutter is gone now. He's in business mode. He's like,
Shit.
here you go, boss. And,
Earning
and like
his
even that
paycheck.
like tremor in his voice is starting to go away. He hands you your halberd, whichever one
Let's
you
do this.
choose to take.
See, some
Stanislav
people
and
unlock
Gregory-
under pressure.
Yeah, no, that's who he is.
I know.
That's how he's lived this long.
I love him.
Yeah, he's still a runner, not
Stanny-
a fighter, but like just
Stanny busts
Mantuka
out
goes
of
down,
his-
he's out. What's up, Stan?
Stanny busts out of his door with his shoulder and axe just being held, shield and axe being held in one hand. His armor's over his head, but it's not done up at all.
Just dangled.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gregory,
Okay.
I need your help.
It's just you see him cracking the door. What's
Stanny
that
rips
noise?
the door open.
Gregory's
Whoa!
like, as this heavy sandstone door, Stanny just one hands it open the rest of the way.
Whoa! What is that? What's happening?
I don't know, but we need to get ready for a fight. Apparently, help me with my armor.
Okie dokie. Start helping him up.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and do
with
this as
help-
fast as possible.
With help, it takes half the amount of time to don a set of armor, and it's heavy armor, correct?
Yes. So it's 2.5 minutes instead of 5.
Oh, it's medium armor. Heavy armor takes 10,
It's
doesn't it?
oh, it takes 10.
I believe so.
Mm,
I could be wrong. Check that, but I'm fairly certain. At least 5, but 2.5 is reasonable. Mantuka's already out and ready to go. Mr. Maker, are you doing while they're looking up the rule? What are you doing? How are you reacting in this situation? You're handcuffed to a bed.
What's the bed made out of?
Wood.
you know what?
I want to try to break it.
I'm gonna try to like
Uh,
smash my way through it.
Athletics or strength check as your body keeps morphing. First you're a full-grown man, then apparently you're a 6-year-old girl. It's like you got
Wait
a
a
lot of
second, wait
different
a
shit
second,
going
wait a
on
second,
right
wait
now.
a second. I'm still gonna try this, but like, is my arm size changing?
It's just
Oh!
it's you're gonna have to time it basically. We're timing it.
Well, I'm gonna try to break it first, and if that doesn't work, I'll try my other thing.
Time it when that voice comes up, and you'll be fine. Yes, strength 17. Okay, it starts to hurt after a while, but you give it a couple like tugs at a certain point, and then you decide to pull upwards the other way, and you kind of like dislodge where the leg of the bed is like attached to the headboard or whatever, and you break that loose and manage to get your hand free. But there's just a welt across your wrist from where the steel manacle kind of locked in.
It's it's
I'm
going
kicking my
away.
ass.
Like,
What?
I said it's going away and coming back.
Basically.
It's like
Yeah, it's just
Bigger and smaller.
it keeps shifting at every possible moment. Mantuka, you start running upstairs. Stanny, how long was it on the ruling on that one?
Yeah, it's 10 minutes. So at a certain point, Stanny,
It'll be a
After,
5 minute
like-
with help.
after about 30 seconds, Stanny's like, "This is gonna take too long." Rips it off, throws it on the
Okay.
ground.
So you're going armor free. Mantuki, you're at a bit of a head start, but the
I'm
lot
gonna
of
cast
you are
Shield of Faith on the way.
okay. A lot of you are just rushing out now, making your way up this kind of spiral incline, hitting the stairs as you do. But you're kind of jumbled amongst people now. You're kind of in crowds. There's people rushing towards safety further away, like going down towards the kind of not pit, but like what they see as a cavern escape if they need to swim or something here. You see the women and children and the men incapable of fighting, basically anyone who's not able to hold a weapon going. And then you see your unit that you have trained now being led by the woman that you were training, as it seems the individual you had put in charge before is not present at the moment. And she's now leading like just a group of soldiers up the where they're all wearing leather armor that's like half strapped on and not completely fitting right, but enough to provide some meager amounts of protection. She's just leading the way, pushing through. So I need everyone to just make me a very low DC strength roll to try to push against the tide of people. You know, it's like it's basically like you're in a mosh pit at this point. What's up,
Saving
Titan?
throw
Welcome in.
or check.
Yeah, I'd say athletics or strength check. It's your choice, either one. Probably athletics. Okay, 11.
15.
Gregory with a 2. We love to see it. Mr. Maker, you're not in there. So the two of you with all the muscle have no problem just kind of like elbowing your way and shoving your way through the tide. Gregory, as you look back, is just caught up and basically like floating,
Can I?
like getting crowd surfed away. Yeah, you can easily.
I'll turn around and go back and grab him.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a dexterity save to try and just catch him before he's just swept away in the crowd at this point. Well enough. Gregory, same from you. As Stanny reaches out in time to grab you, and you got to make the catch. Dexterity save.
Add +4 because I'm within 10 feet.
Yeah, it was a 10 anyway. You're good. You guys managed to just barely grab hands, like just at the tips of the fingers, and then you bring your other hand around and pull and just yank them through the crowd, and get them back to you. And the three of you begin rushing your way up.
You're good. Just Stay right behind me for now.
Yeah.
Mr. Maker, what are you doing? You've got yourself free of the bed.
They leave my stuff in the room.
No. Linax took all of your gear. And then you heard him yelling as he was passing back outside your room. Are you leaving the doctor's office? You don't see your
Yeah,
gear
I'll
anywhere.
leave the doctor's office and then run towards where I think I heard it went.
He would have
wait.
like he basically would have been running right past your room as he was yelling all the instructions and stuff.
I remember.
You remember that he had it? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I remember which direction he was going in.
I mean,
no,
quite
from-
literally, he's in a straight line off the cliff about 25 feet and right at the bottom of it. You remember exactly where his house is. That's one way. The other way is try to push through the crowd that is now running up. Like, there is a group of soldiers. In fact, as you leave the doctor's office, you see this unit of individuals being led by this woman. And then Stanislav, Mantuka, and Gregory just taking up the rear behind that group coming your direction. With
Well, you
Linus
see-
not far behind.
in Mr. Maker's head.
All he knows, he doesn't know what's going on right now. All
Yep.
he knows is that somebody took all his gold, and he's going to get it back.
So he's gonna go directly off the
Yeah.
cliff.
So, like,
We hate thieves.
okay.
We hate thieves.
Are you jumping or are you just running? Like, are you trying to make it a safe
I still got
descent?
my boots on, you know?
If you have the mental capacity to use
I
your
don't think I
magical
do,
flying
though.
boots,
I'm just saying I have them. So,
Off I go.
it's your
Just straight up.
decision. Are you okay? Roll me a d20. If it's even,
Yes,
you're using the boots. If it's odd, you're just eating dirt. How about that?
sounds good. Wow, that's a net.
There's boots for even, so your boots in it, right? Okay.
Yeah.
As you like just walk off, you're like start falling. You're like, oh shit, I remember, and you click your heels together and just like barely start floating right before you hit the ground, and then kind of rest your landing outside. As you like look up, and you see Linax now looking down at you from the cliffside that you just jumped off. He's like, "What are you doing?" That's not his voice. I'm sorry. What are you doing? And he just literally
I'm
just
getting my stuff, and
he
I
just-
walk towards his house door.
you see him just like two hands over the edge and just drop a bundle of shit that's all been wrapped in your jacket, and you have all your gear that he's left for
Okay.
you. He didn't like strip you. You're still wearing your armor and shit,
Yeah.
right? Like he just had your stuff, so he hands you your bundle of shit from above, and then the rest of you make your way. It is at this point that you clue into the fact that the sound of marching, armored feet that you're hearing is coming from down the chamber that you guys just basically finished excavating. Seemingly something coming out of the darkness below. And you begin advancing. Who's taking the lead? Are you letting Linax lead? Is one of you taking the lead? What's the plan?
Let Mantuka take the lead.
Mantuka? Okay, what are you doing? Mantuka, you are at the head of the party now. You push your way through your own unit, almost pushing some of them off the cliff as you go. The individual leading them kind of looks back and sees just as your massive mitt kind of lands on the side of her face and pushes her gently out of the way. You take up your position at the front. How are you leading this charge?
I'm gonna go up there too.
Okay.
My stuff.
Yeah, you catch
What
up
do,
easily
what do
enough
I
with the
see?
control.
Like, do I see anything? Do I just hear like the rumbling of incoming chaos and destruction?
Do you have dark vision?
You fucking know I don't. I'm a
I
stupid
can't-
fool
there's-
without dark
Okay.
vision.
Alright,
You look down into the pit below. 1 second. You look down in the stairway below and just see darkness until the very bottom. You don't see anyone amassing at the bottom. You hear the sound of feet moving, and then you see, ever so faintly, the like, you know when you're holding your phone, it fucking reflects the sunlight on something. You see that, like a light is reflecting off steel, and creating these flashes of light on the ground. And you stand at the top of the stairs. What
Can
are
I
you doing?
run up next to him and have a look too?
You kind of, at this point, it's just a huge crowd of people gathered right behind him, and you can kind of see, even with dark vision, there's no one advancing towards you in the tunnel. You see nothing. Same
I'm
thing
gonna-
at the bottom. You just see the glinting of light off of steel, the sound of marching boots. What are you doing?
I'm gonna hold up my halberd, like as like a halt, like a stop, and then I'm just gonna sit there and I'm just gonna like hulk up and get fucking ready, fuck some stuff up.
Mr. Maker's gonna yell from the back. They're going to that.
And then just start
charging forward.
As you stand there and wait, Mr. Maker just pushes through.
I refuse to talk to whatever's going on over there with that individual till he gets his shit unfucked. No more talking.
He just pushes.
Mr. Maker's just
just barreling down the stairs at this point.
Oh,
Okay.
Fuck, god damn it. Stanislav starts going after him.
Oh, we're doing this.
As he starts running, the sound of marching stops, and you just hear the sound of shields locking together and forming a. I guess you don't know what the sound of forming a shield wall sounds like, but you just hear the sound of metal and wood locking against metal and wood. As Mr. Maker just starts running full speed down the stairs. You're all following?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Full speed. As you make your way down the stairs, you run as fast as you can, just keeping up with Mr. Maker, some of you even regaining his pace at some points, and you all erupt out into the Star's Rest, the tomb of the Star Speaker herself, with your forces rushing in behind you, and as you do, you find an entire battalion of soldiers, about 4 foot tall, clad head to toe in iron armor, with shields almost as tall as their bodies from about the knee to the shoulder. All dwarven, all standing in an interlocked shield line. And at their center, the tomb of the Star Speaker herself. A dwarf, with his back to you. Long gray hair cascading down his back. His weapons at his side, kneeling, head bowed before the tomb. What are you doing?
Everybody wait.
The dwarves are standing there now.
Somebody's gotta catch Mr. Maker.
I am
Yeah,
going
Danny tries to
Somebody's
grab
gotta
him.
catch him.
Misty step to Mr.
Okay.
Maker and just stop right in front of him. Boom.
I guess. Are you gonna stop when you see him, or is this a contested roll? That's my question.
I'll stop. He's confused enough where someone appearing in front of him makes him pause.
And I just hug him.
Yeah, you just
No.
stop, and you feel what's weird is as you're hugging Mr. Maker, you feel his body shifting into different
You
forms
feel my
and shit.
organs just...
Yeah, like just moving around. It's deeply, deeply unpleasant.
Oh, it's
and
like
you all-
hugging hard pudding.
Oh, gross! I don't like that.
It's hard pudding.
As Stanislav, you issue the command. Everybody stop. Everyone kind of barrels into each other. People kind of start stumbling over each other. The dwarves do not move. They don't attack. They don't recoil. They hold their line, and they do not flinch. The individual at the center doesn't turn.
Does it look like he's like kneeling and speaking silently?
He's got one
Maybe.
hand right up on the side of the coffin itself. You can't see. He's like literally. You get the back of his head. He's got long gray hair with like streaks of black that haven't quite turned yet. And even from the kneeling position, it becomes apparent to you very quick that even though he has dwarven armor, dwarven features, and even like the stockiness that you would see in a dwarf, he's big. He's tall. He's probably 5 foot, 5.5 feet. Very tall for a dwarf.
Does he
Look,
reminiscent of the skeleton that was in the tomb?
I'm gonna say roll me whatever memory would be, intelligence or wisdom at disadvantage because you're not in control of your
I did
facilities right now. A 20 and a 17. Okay, so 17. Hard to make out the features. One thing that stands out is around his head is an iron crown that is remarkably similar to the one worn by the corpse in the coffin itself. Not identical, definitely newer, but still
Mr.
old,
Maker.
aged, rusty, if you will.
Mr. Maker realizing this.
well, point. Dead man.
I didn't. I heard Batman.
Dead man.
Dead man.
Wait,
Dead man. What
I don't
did
know. I don't know if that's him or not. And Stanislav is gonna slowly kneel where he is and wait for the dwarf who's kneeling and touching the coffin to finish.
After a while, you hear him just kind of like he looks over his shoulder to some of the guards to the circle. Let them in. And the circle, kind of by this side, by this staircase over here that I'm marking, is parts wide enough for anyone to pass. We go back to the regular playlist for now.
We're so sorry.
It's quite all right. Please. Advance. Speak with me.
Okay.
All right.
Mr. Maker, as you approach, your face just changing.
Yeah.
He kind of looks at you and takes stock of it, and it's the first time. It's what makes him break eye contact with the corpses that lay within this coffin. Like, that's the moment, and he just... Moment of seriousness is kind of lightened up a little bit by the moment, and he's kind of taken aback by it.
Mr. Maker's just swaying dumbly.
I'm like holding his hand.
Yeah.
He got hit on the head really hard. It's normal for his race.
He looks, and in typical dwarven gruff fashion, have you tried hitting him again?
Funny you should say that.
Didn't work.
Sorry about the less than cordial entrance. We didn't know if we were walking into somewhere friendlier.
Understandable.
There.
Are we walking and talking as we're going down the stairs, type of thing?
If you want, yeah. I gather,
Yeah.
he opened up and you guys started talking. I just assumed you'd walk down to him.
Yeah, Stanislav is following him.
So at this point, you're looking back, and now you notice the two hands of the individuals inside the coffin have been rejoined much more delicately. And looking at him now, even though, like, for the brief moment you saw the dwarf inside this coffin before the air that he had been closed off to for thousands of years got to him and it began to decay, the facial features are remarkably similar. Something, however, stands out as a little different to you. And Gregory, this is immediately apparent to you, as you've seen her face more often than anyone else.
No!
This dwarf has a pair of very high, very familiar elven cheekbones. And you see, just pointing out of the gray and black hair, very distinctly shaped set of ears that would go...
It's a dwarf.
Yeah. Ears.
Go.
Do you say that out loud?
Yeah.
He looks at you. Oh, that's one word for it.
I would just say, just like as soon as he says that, Mr. Maker, you do look just like her.
He takes...
You look like Rhaestra.
I'd be surprised if I didn't. How did you find this place? It's been secret for centuries. What are you doing here?
That last part's quite rather a long story. How do we just tell you?
Start from the beginning. Go from there. The seriousness in his face. He's not unpleasant. He's not rude. He is straightforward and to the point. He seems to have inherited much of his ancestors' gruffness, not so much of the elven eloquence that would have been more common for his, I guess, some many centuries old grandmother.
Gregory, tell him about what you found when we were enslaved. I think that's a good point to start.
Yeah, he just kind of sits down, crisscross applesauce, and okay.
Are we walking downstairs though?
No, you guys have been talking for like 5 minutes. How slow are you walking? Like at this point,
right at the
how
bottom
long
of
are
the
the
step.
stairs?
Slow. No, they're like 25 foot of stairs. It's not a big thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be a lot of information here. Y'all know much about the old elven cities?
Probably more than you.
Probably, yeah. He's just gonna kind of spend a good couple of minutes going over the telescopes that he saw, what he saw in the books. He's gonna tell him about the dream too. He's gonna just kind of put it all out on the table.
Just the everything right from the top, you having vision. Okay.
Honestly, the fact that he looks just like Ryasper, he just lets it all spill.
Oh yeah. No, this is
It's a truth sesh.
And Stanislav
it's
will
a hard
kinda,
RP sesh. I know Mantuka hates those about as much as shopping sessions, but we gotta do it.
Stanislav will kind of interject with more general points about like the climate of like more directly why they're currently occupying where they are and what led them to such a situation type of thing. Like the whole build up with the Imperium and now the elves are in and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's a lot,
Yeah.
I guess.
Oh, and also all the stuff about Ropesh the Cruel as well.
We may know a little more about that than you do.
How'd you get here?
Ow.
How did I get? That was a weird voice. He looks. How did we get here? He just like very slowly, kind of deadpan, one-handed gestures to the giant hole in the wall with the stone carved dwarven staircase in it.
Why did that get here?
Well,
That's true. You were hit on the head with a rock. That makes absolute sense.
I'm holding his hand, patting it. Yeah.
Do you want us? We've got doctors. Do you want us to have a look at him?
He's been to the doctor, but you know what? I think a second opinion would be good, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll give him a look over. No, to be honest with you, when people started moving around in here, we became aware of it very quickly. It took us a while to get here from our home. Especially
May
to
I
do
ask
so
where that is?
unattended. You can. Whether or not I'll give you an answer is determined by about 10 minutes or so.
I like
Totally
it.
fair.
I can tell you we're what's left of, well, their people. He looks down to the two in the coffin.
Oh.
There aren't many of us. When the Undara and the Imperium were at war with each other, we took sides. Or, our ancestors took sides more accurately. I wasn't myself.
Right.
My great-great-grandfather, my ancestor, had very strong feelings towards the elves. Very strong affinity towards them, as you can... He once again gestures and kind of like pulls the hair back over one of his pointed ears. You can probably see.
Yeah.
That allegiance was costly for our people, and well, most of us died trying to save most of them. And those that survived did so, well, far and hard and challenging. We've done what we can. The other dwarven kingdoms have helped where they can, but our resources aren't as plentiful as they once were. There's more gems in this room than we have in our entire treasury. Sadly,
Oh.
what's left of our people scrape a meager existence from what the Underdark will give us. But there is one thing we still know how to do very well, and that's fight. So when we started, when our arcane users started to get hints that our defenses here that have been placed so many thousands years ago have been intruded upon, we mobilized as quickly as we could. He looks around at the some 30, 40 dwarves that surround him and have created this kind of defensive circle. All the fighting men we have. It's all that we could spare. We're stretched thin at the outpost. The Underdark is not an easy place to survive. But, If you hadn't had taken that wall down, we probably would have. So, maybe for the better that you got to it first.
Right.
Tell me something.
Huh?
He looks at you, Gregory. When you put the scepter in the wall, what did you see?
I saw an old map
Of
of all the old cities, the ancient Undaran cities.
I put the stick in the hole.
Jesus Christ.
You sure did, buddy. You sure did.
Did he say he put the stick in the hole?
The rod
Yeah,
that the
yeah, he
two were
did.
buried with.
Okay, alright. Did anything strike you as odd about it?
It buzzed.
No.
Nope.
No. No.
You're just...
It buzzed.
It's just buzzing. It's just...
It sounded like a cat.
Oh, he's making vibrating noises. I get it, because the scepter was vibrating. Yeah, but the Dwarf King doesn't know that. Like, this dude does not know that, and he's just
I said
confused.
it buzzed and I went.
Oh.
"Ugh."
Yeah, it's just clipping on our end, dude. It's all clipping.
Yeah,
Sorry.
real
Oh my
bad.
God.
It's rough.
My
It's-
bad.
It kind of sounded like a
That's better.
cat in heat.
Nope,
No.
it's not worse. It's not better. It's worse.
Oh dear God.
It was
your-
fine before. Now it's doing fuck shit.
Turn your gain down.
Abe said your robot should hydrate. It was fine before the break.
And he used gain flings. Anyways,
It buzzed.
yeah, it was vibrating.
Did you see
apparently.
anything that stood out?
Just the fact that the map was very old. That's. Oh, I'm trying to remember.
Roll me. Great intelligence check at advantage.
Ooh.
Good guidance.
But okay. 19.
Plus
And-
guidance.
A D4.
A 3 is
Nice.
22.
So
How's it
again,
now?
that's better. Yeah,
Beautiful.
much better.
Okay.
Much better.
It
So-
switched to the wrong mic.
Oh.
still does it here and there, but I think it's fine for the most part. We'll be good. So the thing that stands out to you, Gregory, immediately, you saw the ruins of Adrock. You saw a few other settlements that you have no knowledge of. Not done any archaeological research in this area at all, so you do not know where the cities are whatsoever. And you notice that Ilsar is just not here at the moment. He's not really a fighter, so he didn't really show up for the battle. After you guys kind of separate, he's probably off hiding or doing his own thing. But something that stood out to you that really kind of caught your eye was in the center, kind of in the northwestern-ish portion of, southwestern-ish portion of the Ember Step. There was, or what is now the Ember Step, there was one gem in particular that stood out. It was a bright orange, like topaz, that stood out. It was larger than the rest, and it was the only gem on that wall. And right before that wall collapsed, you just clocked it, glowing brightly.
The last thing I remember before everything went white, was this one particular spot. That was different color, bigger marker. It was right there, where he points where the wall was.
Hold up. He kind of like goes into his bag, and you see him kind of rifle through some stuff and pull out a map case that's about yay long and looks as old as he is, maybe older.
Look out, he's got a gun!
No, but it's
Mr.
fine,
Maker
Gregory.
ducks for color.
Just dives into the abyss below, like. Phew!
No!
Danny remembers the bag of gems that he found or that he collected, and rolled a nat
Oh.
20 on, and is gonna pull out and
Any topazes?
You do not find it.
Ooh.
darn.
It's still in the rubble somewhere.
Maybe.
That also having happened, these probably belong to your people, so he pushes all of it, all the diamonds and gems over.
Good man,
Probably belong to you.
Stan.
Sure.
I mean, you told me about how your people scrape by, and how there's more gems in here than in your treasury.
This is a tomb. We couldn't spend these. Good conscience. If you're okay with it, I'd like to leave. In the coffin.
Of course.
Yeah. For sure.
No one's gonna be spending it. No one.
That's right, Mr. Maker. It's gonna stay right here, and that's fine. Right?
You see Mr. Maker's forehead change. And apparently his background disappear. Someone in the fucking house turned the goddamn lights off.
Hope you like the darkness, motherfucker.
Maker's changing on every level.
Stanislav looks to Mantuka. What expression is on your face?
Yeah, what's Mantuka doing through all this?
Bewildered calmness.
Oh, wow. That's
Do you look at all perturbed by the fact that I have just given that many gems over to this dwarf that I don't know?
After saying you wouldn't give
Yeah.
anything away.
Okay, he looks a little worried.
Remains to be seen.
Okay.
Judgment cast upon whatever's transpires.
Okay. Yeah, Stanny clocks that a little nervously and doesn't say anything. Carry on.
I appreciate it. Do you leave them in the tomb? Thank you. This was a resting place. It deserves to stay. That being
I was
said,
actually trying to carve out a cover for the tomb again, very unsuccessfully.
oh, is that what that was? He kind of
Yeah.
like gestures over to your haphazard stone cutting project. You know, it's good for a first time.
Funny enough, I had several months of experience in Adrock.
I would not have guessed. If it's okay with you, we'll handle it from here.
I imagine you and your people could do a much better job than me.
Oh, in a few minutes, yeah.
I bet it would still look nice.
I'm sure. I thank you. I'm sure it would have still looked nice. Yes. I'm sorry.
He's very
you know,
capable.
Please don't. It's all right.
Okay. Well, there's a lot you don't know. There's a lot you need to know, and he kind of like pauses, like he wants to share some information with you, but is struggling to do so. I want everyone in the party roll me a persuasion. This is a group, or just a group charisma check. To just as basically a group 5 check. He's kind of determining how much.
Dude, we just gave you all our fucking gems. What the fuck?
Come
What?
on. Come on. Do you want to roll dice or not, motherfucker?
Those aren't ours.
Okay, collectively that's pretty good. And he kind of sizes you guys up a little while he's doing it. Also, he's gonna insight check you guys a bit. Okay, he rolled real fucking good. What do you know about Torchspire? Stanny immediately would know it. Mantuka probably. If you want to roll me a history check, you feel free. Everyone else, everyone but Stanny can roll history. Stanny, I'd say you know this just outright, and you can share it with the group. It's up to you. But
Mr. Maker does not rule
I-
history. He pulls
I
out a
wanna-
torch.
he pulls
I'm
out a
gonna use
torch.
my
Gonna be-
advantage that I was given
It
at the
pulls
start of
out
the
a
game,
torch.
so it doesn't get poofed.
Okay,
DM, I'm gonna be straight
No,
up with
that
you.
was
I
equally
don't
worse.
remember.
I'm gonna tell you. Don't worry. Okay, you guys suck. All right. Torchspire is the tallest mountain in the Incendus mountain range. It is also known as the Gate of the Oracle. It is very.
That's why torch.
Oh, right. Over on the east coast, right?
Took me a second.
It's literally like right in the southwest coast of the Empire. Is right where the tip of the mountain comes down is Torchspire, the biggest mountain. I can show it to you on this map right here that I have made many years ago. So boop, if you go to this map, Torchspire is this big fuck off mountain right here.
Mhm.
Can't miss it. You literally can't miss it. It is so tall. Also commonly known as the Gate of the Oracle. You know that it is what is considered a sacred site for the most part, and people seeking wisdom or guidance from the gods, or just guidance from the Oracle herself, go there to consult. It is an exceptionally difficult journey to make. Most people do not survive it, and those that do usually come back and tell very little to nothing of what transpired, basically in the clouds. It's so tall it basically has its own microclimate, kind of like Mount Baker, or not Mount Baker, Mount Robson. It is fucking massive. He kind of looks at you. That's our home. We've lived there since the war. What little civilization we have left went there, and well, the Undara people did not die with my great grandmother.
Clearly.
Well, beyond me.
Stanislav looks mind blown that there's anybody that could live in that place.
Beyond me.
Yeah.
Believe me, I'm more dwarf than I am elf. My sister, on the other hand, didn't really get any of my dad's. Enough of it, but not much. She lives on top of that. Suffice it to say, the last star speaker of the Indara people is not the last star speaker of the Indara people. And what few of them survived live with us. When I say few, I mean it. What you saw, little one, may be the key to putting an end to all this. To all of us getting our homes back, to no longer living in secret. Tell me, what do you know of the Temple of the Shifting Sands? Again, at this point, he's just conversing with Gregory. Like they've now locked eyes with each other and pretty transfixed on that.
I read that in a book. It was when they had kept us in that Indar library.
Adrock, yeah. Wouldn't be surprised. I imagine that's around the same time you started hearing from, and he just like silently with his head gestures to the elvish corpse in the tomb.
She told me not to let them find it.
Well, he looks at the crumbled wall, the only map of it that ever existed. No, they won't.
Neither will we.
We can now. He pulls out, and like as he's holding that map case that he's had out for the last little bit, he pops the top off of it and pulls out this like just ancient piece of like animal skin and lays it across kind of one of the flat parts on the edge of the tomb, and spreads it out, and you see an exact representation of the map that you saw on the wall, down to the last detail.
Oh.
Do you think you could find it?
I think I'm gonna have to. So I don't have a choice, and therefore I can.
You always have a choice.
No. Not this time. And that's fine. Because I can do this. All right. I'm gonna go ahead
and take out of the box. Jesus Christ. Just gonna see, or you're gonna hear first a riveting sound as a giant, cartoony, like teddy bear looking frog sort of just plops its way out of the box. And then it looks at Gregory, looks at everyone, and then it makes that ribbit sound. And then a giant marble just comes out of its mouth. And on that marble is going to be the picture of an owl. And with that, I cast Enhance Ability on myself and Owl's Grace.
Oh, nice. Well done. Smart choice. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
legit.
So that was great. So is that advantage on wisdom checks?
Yes, indeedio.
So this, I would say, would be for trying to like look at a map and interpret data from that. It would probably be a survival check, just for like basic survival skills. So use your wisdom stat for that.
There he is right
Oh
there.
my god, that's adorable. I love it.
That's him casting the bear one. All right, it's
Go
which
ahead.
one, sorry?
Also,
Survival with
guidance, yeah.
advantage
Uh,
and guidance.
Guidance.
oh, thank God, yes.
26 with that. Oh, wow. Roll the d4. See if you hit 30.
31.
Ah!
Damn. Okay, so 28 altogether. It takes you a bit.
31.
How do you roll? Oh, did you add 2? Oh, you flash of genius this
I
roll
flash
too?
of genius then. Yeah.
Okay, well,
I
well
just
above
look
30.
Oh,
back
I guess
at my-
I'll be
33 then.
So
I
33
look
total.
back at my friends, just big smile on his face, just, we can do this.
Mr. Maker, just like for a moment, you see him lock in for a second and get back to his old face for a brief moment. You feel a brief flash of genius pass over you, and then his face once again shifts back and begins changing all over the place. But for a
He
moment,
starts drooling and
Yeah.
picking at rocks.
and you feel the flash of genius take over.
Teamwork.
One
And
moment of lucidity, that's all we needed.
It takes you a little while, but eventually you find it and you point to a place on the map. Stanny, looking over, you kind of roughly, based on your knowledge of the Ember Step and the surface, you gather it's probably about a day's journey to the southwest of
I
where
will pull out my map of the Ember Step.
There you go. And you can kind of compare the two. So roll me also a survival check.
Okay.
As you're kind of trying to like base two maps. Gregory, we can say you're assisting him if you want, as you're kind of like trying to compare. So
Oh,
go
yeah.
ahead and roll with advantage, Stanny.
Got a 4 on that D4 there. Yeah, so
Oh.
11.
Okay, so 11. You're trying. You think based on the best you can do, the best of your knowledge, you gather it's probably a 2 to 4 day journey to the southwest of the remains of Istril, the
Okay.
great skeleton of a dragon that was once defeated in the Ember Step. A very familiar location for Stanislav.
Okay, Tang gets a little chill down his spine, remembering that place. His recent interaction with
Do you
The gnome.
do you tell them out loud that what the 2 to 4 days thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Stanny kind of holds up the map. I think it's from the ruins of Istril. You see him pause for a sec. The ruins of Istril, it's about, I don't know, maybe 2, 3, 4 days southwest.
Sounds right, yeah.
You're telling me you know where this place is, or you can find it.
I mean, if I'm right about what his map looks like and where he's pointing, compared to my newer map, we can at least try.
You know what the temple does, Gregory. You haven't introduced yourself to him. He doesn't actually know your name yet, so he just keeps calling you young one or little one. I'm sorry.
Little buddy.
Little buddy.
I can't. Not really. Sort of. No, I just know it's important, really.
Let's do that. Well, it's place of very powerful magic. With it, they were able to, well, my ancestors, or I guess my grandmother's or great-grandmother's ancestors, were able to reshape the desert itself.
And you left it a desert.
It was buried. They buried it. Number of them, realizing that the weapon they controlled was too dangerous and was soon to fall into Imperium grasp, made the three very, very brave individuals made the decision to sacrifice themselves and bury the temple beneath the sands while they were inside control.
Oh. Oh.
A worthy sacrifice if ever there was one, but the Imperium have been looking for it. And we were worried they were getting closer to finding it. Not to say they can't now. I'm not sure that was the only indicator of its location, or if, they may find it's by pure happenstance, but we have an advantage now, and I'd like to push that.
Right. Right, yeah, we should.
Gregory, I think I know now why they had you down in that library. They were trying to find this too.
I'm really, really glad that I didn't tell them. Honestly, near the end, I was basically a shell of a thing. I
What do
wouldn't
they
have
know, if I may ask?
They were getting pretty close. There wasn't like a message board with everything on it, but from what people were telling me, other researchers, I think they know about it. They know what it does.
Damn. Well, that's a problem, so we don't have much time to waste, do we?
And the book is definitely there, the one I saw, so
Okay.
just a matter of time. Although we did bring that place down, or at least my buddy here did. I pat Mr. Maker on the hand.
I need a nap.
Yeah, we're gonna get you a good nap, buddy.
Maybe he should go lay down.
Yeah, I think it's important he hears this. He'll absorb it, I think.
You need to look at Mr. Baker, who has both eyes crossed and his tongue sticking out.
Okay, let's just maybe we get him back to...
Just
That's-
gonna sit,
Well-
he's gonna sit over here on the steps with me.
Maybe
Come on, buddy.
keep him away from the edge. Yeah, probably a good idea.
Well, I'm from the Ember Step. I've lived my whole life there, so I know where to start.
Well, that's only one problem. You mentioned Ropesh. That's another problem.
Yeah.
Dare I say a bigger problem. It's been brought to my attention that we, some time ago, lost contact with... We lost touch with some of our kin at the Dagger Peaks, which you know to be the far eastern mountain range.
Oh.
Or is it the Gnarl
That
Peaks? The
mountain.
Gnarl Peaks, I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
Some time ago, the halls of Belrund went quiet. We stopped receiving trade. We stopped receiving word. We've been looking into it with the dwarves at Galder's Seat as well, but we've been unlucky. What scouts we've managed to send have not returned, and that tells me about everything I need to know. We also
That
know
can't
that
be a coincidence.
we also know that the enchantments on the safe, the Great Vault, have long since fallen. The contents within are, well, invaluable to his cause.
I'm also personally aware of more than one of his body parts that have been stolen.
You are. Which?
DM, I know there was an arm that was...
Left arm.
Yeah, and then what was the other one? Wasn't there a second one that we...
The left arm has been found, the head has
Yep.
been found by the evil adventurers, and the torso has been found, but you only know about the arm, I believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, in that case, I'd say, yeah, I know of one body part that has been taken at his left arm, apparently.
Well,
I'd regale him with that short tale.
if they've taken the halls, then it's likely they already have his head as well. Probably a few other pieces at this point. If the forces of Ropesh are mobilizing, that may be a bigger concern. I don't know. Can't tell you, but I can tell you I know where one of the other pieces is hidden. Protected by Dwarven.
Oh,
I don't think I have to be that smart to guess, do I?
No, we gotta hydrate.
uh,
Thank you,
this
Mystic.
is water. This is water in it.
This has some H2O in it. You can get the other arm, the right arm. It lies with it lies with another follower of Tor. And he looks at you with the holy symbol on your neck.
Mhm.
One of your type, I believe. A holy man. Another who
What's
gave
his-
his life fighting against Ropesh. I don't know his name. I know him only as the Just.
DM, it was JT the Just, right?
100%. It's JT the Just. Yeah.
It's yes. That, the individual of which you speak is JT the Just. He was a hero of Torm. Gave his life very valiantly to save many countless others.
That would be him. I don't know about the other pieces, but I know there's one there. And if they're looking for it, well, probably be good if we could beat them too.
Can't disagree with that.
They're not already there. DM, do I know where the tomb of JT the Just is?
You do. Actually, I'll say roll me a history check, because you are new to the religion.
Sure.
Thanks, Tiff. Appreciate it. Thank you for swinging by. Appreciate you.
20.
Oh, Jesus. With a -1 for a 19.
So
Congratulations. You do. You know that JT the Just, while being a follower of Torm, was also a known ally of the dwarves. You don't know if he was a dwarf himself. You know nothing of his actual, of the actual character, mostly because JT hasn't finished it yet.
Androgynous humanoid.
Androgynous humanoid. You know he rests in a tomb on a partially frozen lake somewhere to the southwest of Galdur's Seat, near the city of Ravencrest, where he was born. Which is
our friend here mention Galdur's Seat going out of communication?
Galdur's Seat was not. No, Galdur's Seat is the one they are actively receiving help from. It is the halls of Belrund that have dipped.
Right.
Have dipped, been shuffled loose the mortal coil, if you will.
Yeah, so I tell him that and where it is.
Rotelix had nothing to do with that. Hell's Corp has nothing to do with what happened there at all. The party's doing good tonight. Hell's got hit on the head pretty bad. He's still kind of fucked up.
And then I punched him as hard as I could in the face.
And made him even more fucked up.
Yeah, I thought it would help.
It's
It
pretty
didn't
bad.
help. It got
Rotelix had
suggested
nothing to do
again,
with
though.
I bonded with Smelly, so
You did bond with
Not a big
Smelly.
deal.
That was super nice. That was really nice.
I believe you have compatriots that are quite close to that.
What do you know about dwarves?
Well, I know they're very good with mountains and stonework. Very good at living underground.
Yeah, do you know what else comes with living underground?
Hmm.
Having to deal with every foul shit that crawls up from the Underdark. If they had forces to spare, believe me, they would have sent them up. If we had forces to spare, believe me, we would have sent them already.
Sounds like that's on us then.
Well, sounds like a job for a hero.
And that would be us.
He says, gesturing to your holy symbol of Torm that you wear around your neck, the god of courage and self-sacrifice. Literally, patron deity of heroes.
Mr. Maker stands up.
Disadvantage is
Hands on his
always
hip.
on the game master. It's always on me. Yep.
Mr. Baker stands up. He puts his hands on his hips.
Me.
Yeah!
You are a hero. You single-handedly caused the downfall of one of the biggest slave encampments on the continent.
Have a good
And
ship,
saved
Mystics.
our Tookuses.
That's true. He did save your Tookuses.
Tookai.
It's like really funny to see Mr. Maker standing there like Superman, so sure that he's talking about him.
the whole chest out. Yeah, absolutely.
And me. I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus. I'm not saying you have to go right now. The temple's important, but so is this. Pick what's most important to you. If we have any extra men, we'll do what we can to find the temple, but we've been looking and we still haven't found it. It's protected by a lot more than just the desert.
Choose your adventure.
I feel like our task in the step here is probably more important. What is this weapon anyways, and what does it do?
Said with it, they can reshape the desert as they see fit. Imagine entire armies.
Oh, that's what it does.
Imagine entire armies swallowed by the sands, entire cities wiped off the face of the earth and buried in an instant.
Oh, we need that.
Let's go get that.
I gotta say.
They only used it to protect their cities against the elements and sandstorms that came within. They only considered using it in war once things reached, well, the point of desperation. And by doing so, they let the Imperium know about its existence. And when they did
Sure,
that,
but if we...
when we did that, they only came at them even harder. And that's when it all went bad.
But your
We gotta keep it out of their hands anyways.
My ancestor
Your ancestors
was
didn't even-
stabbed in the back by his own kin for money.
Oh.
Money?
Damn it.
Someone won't say money.
I smell gold.
I'm just
Back
saying.
then, your people still didn't use it on the Imperium. That
No.
tells me a little bit about... That tells me everything I need to know about how bad this weapon could be.
Not everyone in the
Hey.
Imperium is evil, as you well know. In fact, you know for a fact that most of the people living in their cities are people who are living forcibly.
Very much so.
The people who do their labor make up more of their population than their citizenry.
Of course.
You can understand why, well, they didn't want to just wipe them out personally. And there's the moment where you see like a brief hint of darkness come across his face. I think they should have used it.
Huh.
I think we should use it now.
I plan to. And Gregory,
Let's get it.
it's at this point you hear a very familiar voice in your head. Do not let them find it. And you look at the son or the great-great-grandchild of Rayastra and you see vengeance in his eyes. Hatred, malice, anger. And you take in the look of a man who has just been given everything he has been waiting to get. And that is where we're going to end things. for
And
today.
she meant! That's who she meant! Don't let them find it! No! No! I killed
To
it!
be fair, this one's kind of on her, though. She could have said that at any point.
I'm sorry.
She waited till
I'm
after
sorry.
she told her.
I'm sorry. The
No, I'm just
cryptic
saying,
prophecy wasn't clear enough for you. Oh,
Rayastra, you bad bitch!
oh, God! I've been sitting on that for a while. That
Don't
felt
let them find
good.
it!
Don't let them find it. That's
I'm
going on.
sorry, Rayastra!
Oh, I'm down though. Let's find it though. Let's use this shit. Hell,
Yeah.
if he wants to oppose us, we take him down with it too.
We might have to now!
So, yeah, you
what are
might.
they gonna do?
I don't know. What is this dwarven king with an entire battalion of highly trained battle dwarves gonna do? Probably
Who's
tear
probably
you a new
hundreds
asshole.
of years old.
Against us?
Probably
Fuck that
tear
guy.
you a new asshole.
No, not if he's
Anyway.
swallowed up by sand.
Hard to be swallowed up by sand when you live underground.
And so? You
Anyway,
still can't breathe in sand.
that'll be it for today. Let's go
It's
ahead
everywhere.
and find someone to raid out on. I don't know who's doing shit right now.
I gotta piss so bad.
Okay, you can go ahead and dip out. Just leave your camera on. I'll just boot you from the meeting in a minute. But I gotta
Oh, that's
figure out
fucked up. That's fucked up for you to say. Why would
I'm
you say
sorry.
that?
If you would
What the
like,
fuck is
give
wrong
the
with you?
people a little spiel. Tell them what you're doing before you go piss. Go have
I
fun.
stream. Go watch my streams. I'm
Go
gonna
watch the stream.
do stream stuff. I
Go
just
to
replaced an
hellscorp.square.site.
alternator.
Oh,
which is
that
dumb,
one was
but it
fun.
worked.
I liked replacing an alternator.
It
You
was-
seemed like you were enjoying yourself.
It was great.
Oh no, I was not.
No, when you lost the bit, I nearly laughed my ass off. Like I nearly died. All right, you
Good.
know what? We're gonna go ahead raid out on Victor7 TV. He's also streaming some D&D. Party level 22. Ooh,
What?
interesting. Okay,
How
we
do
got
I
some
get
homebrew levels happening.
Hit
So,
points.
like, how do you recover them?
No. How do I level up hit points? Because you've still never explained that to me, and we leveled up.
You have a D8. You're an artificer, so I believe it's a D8. You just roll a D8 and add that to your hit points. If it's a 1, re-roll it.
Okay.
I'll walk you through it after if you need to piss. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead raid out on Victor7. Well, fucking no, I don't want to raid it, and that's not who I'm raiding out on. Oh, that did some funky shit. That's cool. It opened a. Oh, interesting. I'm learning new shit right now. Okay, so I'm gonna go over to Victor7. We're gonna go show some love. Y'all know the drill. If you haven't already, feel free to join the Discord. Check out our shit. I'm gonna be rebuilding it over the next week or so, getting all the stuff worked out right, and then we're gonna figure that shit out. If you haven't, go check out the YouTube. Show some love there. Comment on a video. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Be nice about it. And last but not least, if you got the emotes, feel free to drop them over there. Y'all know how it is. I've been Rusty. These have been my friends, and you all have been awesome. We will see you next week as we continue this thrilling adventure.
Bye.